Hello and welcome back to Games Embassy with the Ambassadors of Gaming. I'm one of your two hosts, Ambassador Chris.
And I'm Ambassador
And we
Michael.
have news about stuff. Mike, how are you today?
I'm doing well today. Things have been progressing interestingly. Real quick, I forgot to put this in our document because I keep forgetting because it's still new. In case you are unaware, uninformed, and uninitiated, we have a Patreon. It's pretty dope. You can get some dope stuff over there. Early access, questions. We put up our first exclusive video over there. I talked a little bit about some of my favorite games growing up. So you can get all that over at the Patreon. The link is in the description of YouTube. And I'll try to put it on the descriptions of the Facebook videos when they go public as well. For those of you listening
Good
there.
stuff. All right.
Plug is over now.
I'm not so good. For one, there's a lot of snow outside my apartment. A lot of snow. So, yeah, that's going to make it pretty annoying for later. And also, I wasn't able to play the Anthem demo yesterday, which was probably the absolute low point of my week. And I got hit by a car. So, that's a pretty low point.
God.
No, not really. But it was still the low point of my week. But we're going to talk about that later.
I was going to say.
We're gonna talk about that later at the end of this video. We're gonna go ahead and start with some updates. So, Netflix is creating a Resident Evil show to compete with AMC's The Walking Dead. The show is being developed by the same studio making the films, Constantine Film.
Second update here is Wargroove, a tactic game, will be getting crossplay, but not with the PS4. As mentioned before, yeah, here we go. As mentioned, Sony has had a crossplay beta, in quotes, on PS4, and apparently has decided not to allow crossplay here. Rocket League, a huge supporter of crossplay, just recently became the second game approved for crossplay. So apparently Sony is being nitpicky.
Sony will do it, but it's just pulling teeth.
Apparently so.
Basically. Okay. So here's something that I have mixed feelings about. PUBG is apparently working on a free-to-play version. Gee, I wonder why that sounds familiar. PUBG Lite is apparently being worked on by a separate team and being made to compete more directly with Fortnite, as PUBG's active players have dipped to a record low, while Fortnite shows no signs of slowing down. The game is said to be less graphically demanding and have only one map, Erangel. The team will apparently be making exclusive content for this version, including maps and features, but let's hope it doesn't upset the people that already paid for the full game. Really slippery slope there.
Important to note, from my understanding, that PUBG on Xbox and PC do not have cross progression like Fortnite as well. So like your PUBG stuff is linked to whatever platform you play on, like Call of Duty. And PUBG on mobile is not the same as PUBG on, the Xbox or PC. Just an important side note. This one is an important just tagline. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate beats out Halo Reach for most dollar sales for a platform exclusive. Oh god, I knew I was going to sneeze. Shit. I was trying to make it through. I couldn't make it through. I'm so excited. Yeah, anyway, Smash beat out
that's a big
Halo
deal.
Reach. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a big deal. Especially the fact that it's a Nintendo game. That's a big deal. But it earned it. Smash Ultimate's really good.
Exactly. Also, I think it is important to note that like we view the 360 as a very successful console, and the Switch a lot of people don't. Like they just view it as like this console that's still doing moderately well. And it's like, well, the Switch is like 2 years old.
They don't know what they're talking about. The Switch is wildly successful. So, last little update here. Fallout 76 is not going free to play. Rumors have been circulating around that Bethesda might take its troubled darling Fallout 76 free to play. Bethesda, the publisher obviously, has come out via their official Twitter to state that, quote, there is no truth to this rumor. Maybe not yet, but we'll see.
No, yeah, we'll see about that. I don't think it will. It'd piss too many people off. So, but moving on to the actual news, or not the actual news, all of it's news, but this is like, we can have a discussion about news.
Moving on to stuff that we actually have a discussion about, yeah.
So the first one is the big one, so let's get it out of the way. Talk about it up front. Metroid Prime 4 is being rebooted completely at Retro Studios. Nintendo released a video earlier this week with Shinya Takahashi, where he went into a pretty behind-the-scenes look at Metroid Prime 4. Unfortunately, this was not the news many of us were hoping for, and Takahashi stated that the development did not live up to Nintendo's standards and has been reassigned to Retro Studios and will be completely rebooted from the ground up. This is apparently due to the way the game is being developed by multiple studios in multiple regions, and the pieces were not all coming together, so some areas of development were going fine, while others were very troubled. So, yeah, this is not something we see out of Nintendo very often. And also, like, we just talked about EA, right? And how EA's cancellation came leaked, kind of, where Nintendo was just like, we canceled it basically, but we're still doing it. We're just starting over.
Well, I want to remind you of a different game. Okay. I want to remind you of Sonic, because Sonic went through a very similar, I guess you could say, life cycle to the way that the Metroid series has been. So as soon as Metroid kind of left the 2D platformer genre, it's bounced from developer to developer, not as much as Sonic, have you? A lot of the games have mixed reviews, like Other M. Some people love Prime Hunter, some people don't. And it could be that they were kind of seeing the way that maybe what was that terrible Sonic Wii game, Sonic Forces. Ugh.
No, that was the recent one. Sonic 06 is the one people hate.
Oh, Sonic 06, thank you. It could be that at least Nintendo knows, as they look at it, they're like, no, this is not what we had in mind. It's kind of sad because everyone was really looking forward to Metroid Prime, and now we're going to have to wait even longer because they're starting from scratch.
Right. There's a bunch of stuff really to kind of go through here just off of this very minuscule information that they've given us. But somebody on Twitter that used to work at Retro seemed concerned about the project Retro was apparently working on. Retro's been working on a project since apparently 2015. So we don't know if that game's... I'm assuming that game is done or close to being done. And that's why Nintendo's moved it to Retro. That would be my assumption. So we'll probably get the Retro game soon, within the next year. I'm sure they're like almost done with it. Or if it's done or almost done, you know, they'll just hand it off to somebody else to polish up, you know, to get it out the door. Because it sounds like, you know, I'm doubtful that it takes longer than 4 years to create a Switch game, you know? Like a lot of the games that we've seen on Switch were cobbled together pretty quickly or transitioned over from the Wii U. And even so, they were cobbled over pretty quickly. So there's that. The Retro's current projects are in limbo. We don't know what's going to happen with that. This game was apparently being made by Bandai, right? That's what we had talked about before. Some of the Bandai Namco studios were working on this. I think Singapore. I want to say Bandai Namco Singapore was one of them that was working on it. So there's that. And also, I think the third thing here is there's been speculation, no rumors, no leaks, but speculation that we're going to get a Metroid Prime remaster of the trilogy 1, 2, and 3 on Switch, because it's been so long since we've had Metroid Prime that, you know.
It really has. I haven't read that rumor. I'm going to go ahead and assume you're right, but I myself haven't read that rumor.
Right, like I said, it's just speculation. I don't think I've seen it leak or anything anywhere. I could be wrong. But I think that with this being rebooted, that it's almost a certainty that you'll probably get it, that Nintendo will hire somebody out to remaster it, Like maybe not like full ground up remaster, but probably do like they did with the Bayonetta series and just get it on Switch, you know? I think that's probably going to happen now. I didn't think it was going to happen before, honestly, because I thought we were too close to Metroid Prime 4 actually coming out until this announcement came. Whereas now I'm like, you're looking at 2, maybe 3 years before you get it. So you might as well at this point, you know, put out a remaster of those 3 games. And I haven't played 2 and 3, to be fair, so I would buy it. And I think a whole generation of people haven't played them, so I think that's how you satiate the audience looking for that until 4 comes out. But you also don't want to oversaturate it.
All right. Next part of the news, MPD's numbers. Mike, what does MPD stand for one more time? National what?
I'm sorry, I had the Wikipedia page up and then I closed it. Basically, they're a research company. I can't remember their exact
acronym,
name, but
they do a bunch of statistics of best-selling stuff.
They're a research company, yeah, and they specifically do market research on game sales and toys.
Yes. COD, Call of Duty, is still the best-selling console game franchise 10 years in a row. Woo woo! Hooray! That being said, this doesn't shock me at all. Battlefield 5 is the first Battlefield game to miss MPD's top 10 this decade. They've got it for the past however many years, and now for the past 9 years, and now this game did not make it into the top 10. The top 10 selling games of 2018, it peaked at number 14. I mean, given that's still selling pretty well.
Yeah, it's still the 14th best-selling game of the year, and it came out in October. So I'm sure it'll be just fine. You know, its tail will live up to it, but
we know why that is. Battlefield 5 was very clearly rushed because they wanted to compete with Call of Duty. The game released, the Battle Royale mode wasn't ready yet. A bunch of the modes were basically grayed out, locked behind just whenever they were going to come out. They basically released an incomplete game. Not basically, they did. Everything that they said is coming in the game isn't there. They just needed to literally get it out there and go, here, our game's out. You can play our game.
I don't understand why. We talk about this all the time with EA specifically, why they're like this, because Battlefield, we're going to miss holiday sales. Okay, look, I understand that. Holiday sales are rough, but also you had to compete with Red Dead this year and Call of Duty in the same month. That was just, in my opinion, poor planning. I would have held off, let them finish it up, put the Battle Royale in, and release it in like February. You know, we always talk about that. Titanfall hit, and the reason why Titanfall was as successful as it was on the original Xbox One was because of when it came out and how far away from Call of Duty it came out.
It didn't come out far away from Call of Duty. It came out when everyone was hating Call of Duty Ghosts.
That's what I'm saying. It came out, didn't it come out in February or March?
I actually don't remember.
And Call of Duty had released as like a launch title.
Call of Duty Ghosts
for those games, or it came out in like November.
Call of Duty Ghosts came out for both the 360 and the One. I'm not sure if that counts as a launch title.
I understand, but what my point was is that basically that year's Call of Duty came out, and they distanced Titanfall from it. Was my original point.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that.
That's where I was going with it, is Battlefield usually can compete. I think the reason why it didn't this year is because of the Battle Royale and because of Black Ops. I think Black Ops actually like has a name behind it, and that's why they keep using it, even though Black Ops 4 technically isn't anything like the other Black Ops because it doesn't have a campaign, so it doesn't continue a story.
It's still made by Treyarch, though. It's still got the... Neither did the last one. Black Ops 3's story was totally independent of the other World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 stories.
That's true, but it had a story nonetheless.
Yeah, it had a story.
Battlefield 5, I think, also suffered from the hate train from Battlefront, because this was like the first major release that EA's had since Battlefront came out. Like, they haven't actually released any game outside of their sports games that was like a AAA game, you know? So I think Battlefield took the hit on this one, honestly, which is unfortunate. Also, there was that stupid backlash over, like, whatever, there being women in the game or some shit. So there was that. And then Sutherland, I think his name was Sunderland, right? Patrick Sunderland. Yeah, he was the creative director. He left, and one of the reasons people speculated he left was because of soft, pre-sale on Battlefield 5, which we see clearly was, the case, that they didn't sell as much as they used to, or they haven't sold as many as they usually do. COD has that staying power that it does. As much as like people like to shit on it, it sells every year. It sells, and every year it's the best-selling game.
And that's why people are also teasing other companies, going like, oh, everyone's making a battle royale game. Yeah, they're making a battle royale game because that's what's hot right now. A bunch of people are all about playing battle royale games. Me personally, not really. I don't have anything really against them. They're just not the thing that I crave to play. But you can hate on, it didn't shock anyone that Black Ops was coming out with, when they revealed Black Ops, it didn't shock anyone that it was going to have a battle royale mode. And same with Battlefield 5. Oh, but we're letting you know we have a battle royale mode too. Like, what a shock. Trying to get in on that money.
The rumor is that the new Call of Duty this year is going to be by Infinity Ward, right? Yeah, it's going to be Infinity Ward. So the rumor is that it's going to be Modern Warfare 4.
Of course it is.
And that they're not going to do a campaign, but they're going to remaster the campaign from Modern Warfare 2, but not do what they did with COD 4. They're not going to remaster the multiplayer, just the campaign. And the campaign will be put in with Modern Warfare 4 along with a new battle royale. So none of your stuff will carry over, as is tradition with Call of Duty.
Wait, there will be a battle royale mode?
Yeah, there will be an additional battle royale mode.
What?
I think, real quick, that the reason we talk about the reason why battle royale is so successful, and specifically Fortnite is so successful, is because things carry over, because you just keep playing Fortnite, you keep earning more stuff in Fortnite, and that's why kids like it. Whereas I think some kids are going to be disappointed, because let's be honest, we know a lot of kids play Call of Duty. It's just a fact. They'll be disappointed to find out that all of their stuff,
they've done all of our mothers.
That's true. And they're also apparently very racist. You know what I'm talking about if you ever hopped in.
I know what you're talking about. We grew up in that era.
God. Anyways, so I think people will be very disappointed when they buy the new Call of Duty and it's like, oh, all the money I spent in Black Ops 4, none of that carries over to this. And then Black Ops 4 is going to get, the usual COD treatment where it kind of falls by the wayside. And it stops being updated and, blah, 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 blah. I went and played World War II recently, and I was like, is this game still as bad as I remember it being? Because I had a lot of fun with World War II. Me and you and Justin played it together all the time when it first came out. It was the first COD in years that we actually enjoyed for a while. And I went back and played it, and I was like, something about this doesn't feel good. Like, something about it feels weird. After they updated it, because they changed the menu, they got rid of the social space being required, and anyways, Call of Duty is a trend hopper. That's just kind of how it is, but clearly it still works.
Well, not the only one. Some people could argue that that's one of where Resident Evil went wrong in games like Resident Evil 5 or 6, I don't remember which one, was that they were basically turning it into a shoot 'em up to follow in with the success of Call of Duty and Battlefield. That's not always good, but that's a totally different can of worms, so we probably shouldn't go into that.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of where we'll let it rest. But anyways, I think it's important to note that no matter how much we shit on Call of Duty, Call of Duty still outsold Red Dead.
Yeah. During
2018. I think that's important to note. Don't get me wrong, Red Dead will outsell eventually Black Ops 4, but still, that's insane.
It's crazy.
Okay, let's move on to the last piece of actual news, I guess. This one is probably the weirdest one, I think, on our list this week. The physical copies of Final Fantasy X and X-2 remastered on Switch will not include X-2 on the cartridge. 10.2 will not be included on the cartridge, the physical cartridge, but instead be included as a digital code, much like Bayonetta and how Bayonetta 2 was downloaded. It is important to note that according to Nintendo Soup, the game cartridges in Japan and Southeast Asia will both have both games on the same physical card. Though this seems odd, you could import the Southeast version, as it apparently has English as an option. So if like it's a big deal to you and you don't want to have to download it all onto your Switch, you could get the Southeast Asia version and play it in English. It's basically the same game. You just have to select English at the start instead of Japanese. So this is really weird. Normally, like, we don't discuss this kind of stuff. The only reason I did is because of how different it is. I don't think Bayonetta released in Japan on both, right? It came out as a digital version, I think.
No, yeah, Bayonetta 2 came out on the cartridge, and then it also included a download code for Bayonetta 1.
Okay. I knew it was one of the two. I couldn't remember which one it was, how they did it, but...
Yeah, but no, neither of them. They were on... Only one was on the card.
That's what I thought. So, like, that's just so weird. I don't see why. Like, you already did it. You know what I mean? Maybe my guess would be that the reason why this is the way it is because they're going to have the option for you to buy 10 and 10.2 separately, like on the store at some point. That would be the only reason I would guess that they would do this. But even then, like...
I don't know about that, because they don't have that for Bayonetta. The only way to get Bayonetta 1 is by...
They do.
They do?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they do, yeah.
That.
Now, they didn't at first. Let me see. I'll look it up, but go ahead and make your point.
I'm pretty sure that the only way to get Bayonetta 1 is the digital download that comes with Bayonetta 2. I don't think you can buy it independently.
I think you are incorrect, but I will find out. I'm on Nintendo's official website right now. I lost my mouse. Why did I do that?
All right.
Let's see here.
Everyone get ready for me to prove Mike wrong.
Okay, so the physical version includes the Bayonetta remaster. Where's the store?
There's no point in you fighting me because I'm right.
Hold on, Bayonetta. Let's see, Bayonetta.
You better cut some of this.
Nintendo Switch. Oh, I'm gonna cut it. Don't you worry.
Don't cut my song.
I won't cut your song. You can indeed buy Bayonetta digitally for $30.
What?
And you can buy Bayonetta 2 digitally also for $30. Or no, I'm sorry, $50.
Whatever. You suck.
I just am correct. I don't know what you want me to say. It's not
Whatever.
my fault.
We're
am
done with
blessed
this.
with such knowledge.
We're gonna shut up. We're gonna move on to the issue that I had with the Anthem demo. So this isn't news. This is just what I experienced, and I thought it'd be nice to share. The first thing it tells you on the code for the pre-order receipt for I pre-ordered at GameStop, it says you got to make an EA account first. So I did that with my current email address. And this email address is on a Microsoft account. But this Microsoft account was originally founded a long time ago with an old email. So keep that in mind. That alias, though, has been removed from the Microsoft account, so just the current email is the only one on the Microsoft account. So I downloaded the demo, and I go in expecting it to say, okay, because I used the code online after I made the account. It's like, okay, just download the demo on the account that you have this code on, the Xbox account, you should be good to go. So I did that. And it opened up and it greeted me as my old email address and prompted me to make an EA account. And I'm like, no, I already made one. Problem is, the demo didn't let you change the email. It just automatically assumed this email is the one that you're gonna have to use. You can't change it. It'd be like logging into your Xbox and saying, "Oh yeah, you can't sign out of this account. This account's staying here.
Right. Or you can't change the email or whatever.
Yeah, I couldn't play the Anthem demo because of it, because it wouldn't let me change the email signed in.
It's very strange.
Yay! So, and I actually searched online to try and troubleshoot for it, and I actually only found 2 other people that had this problem.
Right. It's probably due to the way that most people probably are using the same email that's associated with their account. But still, like, that's very strange. This is a very strange way to set up your logins. Are they assuming that no one's
changed their email from, like, Poonslayer 420 or something?
Probably. I don't know. I think it's probably just a back-end software thing where it just recognizes your account. You know what I mean?
Whatever.
Like on PlayStation, for example, you can't do that. I don't think. Oh, no, you can. You can change the associated email, but it's still very weird the way it's linked together.
The other person that I found was having the issue on PS4.
I believe that because I think I told you this, but I changed my email to on my PlayStation account to a different email because somebody hacked into my PlayStation account and like changed all of my passwords and shit. I was really pissed off about it, and it took me like forever to get back into my account. It took me like 3 days to get back into my account and like get in contact with Sony. It was a whole pain in the ass. But so I can understand why that would be an issue because my account was linked to one email, but I still have access to that email.
It wasn't about having access. It was that I used the code on the email I made the account on, and the code was used up. I can't reuse the code.
Right. That's really silly. So the lesson here is just do everything on your console, I guess.
Yeah, apparently do everything on your console. Don't trust EA to do anything right. All right. But anyway, that's going to be it for us today. Try and check us out at least once a week. That's how often we try and do this. Make sure to check out the Patreon. Fund us. Please.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry. All I got is my laptop, and I'm eating a pizza out of the garbage can.
For the 3rd day in a row.
All right. But bad homeless joke. But we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm Ambassador Chris.
And I'm Ambassador Michael.
And we'll see you next time.
Goodbye, friends.
We're out.